So my mystery snake is getting here tomorrow, and so I gotta start putting stuff together in the tank, and just want to show off something. This is what's going into it. It's a lot. My mystery animal is getting here tomorrow, and some of you know what it is, but some of you do not. Most of you do not. So I'm setting up the tank fully today, putting in the substrate. I've got all the stuff to the substrate, and I am a huge advocate for bioactive tanks. I think it's always necessary. Not like necessary, like as in like for death for the animal, but necessary as in it's going to give proper enrichment. It's going to make it feel natural for the animal. There's tons of good things that come out of bioactive, but bioactive can be very expensive. But if you make your own bioactive soils, like I'm about to do, it can be really cheap. For the same price that I buy 2 bags of big BioDude substrate bags, I was able to get all of this. This is 6 topsoil, 1 to 2 cubic feet of wood chips, 3 50-pound bags of play sand, and a giant thing of spag moss that's been mulched down into peat moss. Now, if you mix this right together, you can have some of the best bioactive substrates. I really love it, and I'm about to show you guys what I like to do for it. I'm new to this, to be honest, so this is not going to be amazing. But this is a tried and true method of making bioactive. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you guys maybe learn something about bioactive and maybe learn that it's not so hard to get into. So I have this big tub. I can fit my whole forearm in it. So I'm going to start with the topsoil. Obviously, this is going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, but I believe we should be able to get this. All right. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's been raining a lot in my state, and they keep this stuff outside, so it's already pretty wet and moist. Now you guys will probably never have to spend as much as I spent, unless you're obviously getting a big animal like I am. 13-foot enclosure. That is not something for a small animal, I will tell you that. And this isn't even its adult-sized enclosure. But obviously, I would prefer to go with BioDude stuff just because it's already put together. Wow, this is actually really good dirt already. But I like to mix stuff in. But that's a lot of stuff. A lot of dirt. Alright, next up. Play sand. Now this is going to be tricky. These bags suck. They're essentially falling apart, so I'm just going to... Got it. Hold on. My fan's kicking up stuff. Don't want that. So I'm going to be doing a 1 part sand, 1 part soil, mixed with other stuff as well, obviously. Might be a little bit too much sand, but I'm going to experiment with it real fast. Whew. Now this is some weird sand, that's for sure. You know what? It's really mixing well, actually. I don't know if this would have been too much. But if it is, I can always put more dirt in. That's the great part about making your own. You can really make it your own substrate. Make it your own density that you would like. You do want to make sure it gets really mixed, though. Obviously, you don't want it to be just like one substrate or the other. You want it to be a good mix. I like to do it like, like putting in dirt and putting in sand, and you're like mixing in the sand and the dirt, and then once you're done mixing in the sand and the dirt, then you move on to your next material. Keeps it kind of organized. It is not easy work, I will say that. Doesn't smell great, but it doesn't smell bad. This said no fertilizers or chemicals or pesticides, so I'm hoping that's the case. Whew, I might have to go get a shovel. Like a little mini scooper. Hold on. Never let anybody tell you that building bioactive substrates is a clean job, because no, it is not. But it is rewarding. As you can see, it's taking a minute, but I found this letter opener that I used for one of the unboxing videos, and kind of works to break up the dirt, so I can kind of get down in there with my hand, pull some up, make sure it's all mixing together. Here, let me get it back on camera a little bit. I had to move it around. But as you can see, it's definitely coming along. Slowly, but it's coming along. You just want to make sure you get all of that mixed in together, you don't want any part that's too sandy or any part that's too dirty or dirt-like, I guess. It's all dirty. Like, as you can see, every once in a while I'll come up to areas, that come up with mostly dirt or mostly sand. You obviously want to mix those in and make sure you have a pretty finely mixed substrate. I think the next bin I'm going to do it a little bit less. I never dealt with this much substrate before. Whew, this is definitely a new amount of substrate I've ever had to deal with. The newest and biggest amount. But yeah, you see, that's really dark right there, because that's mostly soil. Whereas there's parts that I keep pulling up that are a lot brighter, that are mostly sand. Ugh. It's tiring, I will say that. Whew. Start working up on the other side. Yep, see, look at that. That's a lot of sand right there. Mix it together. Turn it into a tanner color. But, show you guys again. Ooh, it's getting harder to find. It's obviously pretty warm in my room, reptile room. See that? See how it's much darker? Just soil. Sand, soil, almost perfect mix. Sand, soil, mix. You kind of want to make sure every part of this is going to be that mixed in color. Whew. All right. I think I'm ready to add peat moss. Oh, it's gonna be kind of difficult, not gonna lie. But I will figure it out. I always do. So as you can see, this is just blended up moss that is going to retain humidity, give it a little bit more structure. Try to use this as like a shovel. I wish I had like an actual like little scoop, but I didn't think about that for some reason. Mainly because I've never really had to deal with this much substrate, so I wasn't expecting it to be this difficult to mix. But as you can see with that spag moss in there, it's kind of turning it into a more natural color, less like dark brown, less just pure sand, more of a, well, a mix. There's some more area. Oh. All right. Tiring, that's for sure. See, that spag moss actually looks really nice. I'm going to put a little bit more topsoil on the top. I might have to break this bin up. Ooh, stuff's heavy. But, yeah, look at that. Well, you know what? That's actually not really changing the color of the dirt all too much, which tells me that that's pretty well mixed in with the topsoil. There just must be a couple places it's missing. All right. Grab more spag. More peat spag, I should say. Mix it in. Oh. Now this is a Serpa Designs recipe for substrates. As you can see, it's a very, very amazing recipe for it. Really gives you natural feeling, looking, and easy to work with soils that not only retain burrows, as you can see, if I were to pack this down already, if I were to be a snake, and just like slithered down in there, look, now I have a tunnel. I have a deeper tunnel. And it's not even fully packed down. That's just like one little sweep. So like I said, it's just really easy to work with, really good for your reptiles. Gives them places to burrow, places for bugs to be, things for bugs to eat if you want when you want bioactive. Gives good nutrients for your plant. All sorts of good stuff that can do. Whew. But like I said, this is tiring. Alright. Now I got my wood chips. Oh, this one's too heavy for me to lift. Much too heavy for me to lift. But if you throw in some wood chips, I don't like using a lot of these. One, they're big. Two, some of them can be sharp. And three, kind of makes it hard for your animals to slither around in the dirt, in my opinion, because they are so big. You can get smaller ones, but it doesn't really matter. I just don't like using as much. But it adds a little bit of texture. Adds a little bit more texture to it. So do it until your heart's content. Like I said, the greatest part about building your own substrates is you get to build it to your liking. You can make it as like wood filled. You can make it as wood chip filled. You can make it as sandy as you wanted, as dirt based as you wanted, as much moss as you want. You know, you just have all the power when you do it. Feels good. It's rewarding too, especially when you make a substrate that just works. All right, I think I'm going to dump this really fast, mix it a little bit more in the tank. I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then I will mix another bag or another bin, but with less substrate, so you guys can see it a little bit better. All right, I'm very warm and exhausted, but now that substrate is in the tank, and it's looking pretty properly mixed up, and it's looking really good. So I'm gonna need a ton more though. Okay, didn't want to cooperate with me there. Let's do it like this. So it's my recipe is 1 part topsoil, 1 part peat moss, 1 part clay sand, and 1 part wood chips. So it's essentially, you're essentially just doing like, well, I guess I don't know. I can't really think, but tired. Don't judge me. It's essentially like half and half, but with 4 parts. Peat moss, soil, sand, and wood chips. They all get an equal amount in my books. Obviously, if you want something a little bit more humid, you're going to want more moss. If you want something a little bit more dry, you're going to want more sand, less moss. If you're going to want less water retaining, you know, etc., more sand. Oh, 50 pounds of sand is not light. And this is dusty. Luckily, it was warm. enough outside, I can open up all my windows for my reptiles, so it's not too dusty for them. Yeah, this is much easier to mix when it's not as full. Can't tell if I need more sand or more dirt, but it's not fully mixed in yet, so you can never really tell until it's fully mixed. Whew. This is tiring work, though, I will say that. It is definitely a lot nicer just to get bioactive substrate because it's all put together, but you're going to be spending roughly, depending on the size of the tank, $20+ extra just to have it pre-made when you could make it so much more specialized for your animal. Looking like we might need a little bit more sand here. Yeah, I'm gonna say more sand, but I'm gonna keep mixing. You never know. We might have just covered a clump of dirt or sand. Alright, more sand is needed. Oh, I really hate lifting this. Oh. Not too much sand this time, but too much last time. But it's alright. Like I said, it's dusty. It's tiring. Alright. I'm gonna try something out for this. But just stick with me here. So we got right now 50% sand, 50% topsoil. We're going to be adding peat moss and wood chips here in a second. I'm going to make a time lapse and show you guys the difference and the difference of what it looks like, you know, when you're starting a substrate and what it looks like at the end. I'm also going to show you guys the amount of time it actually takes to do this, just so you guys know. The mystery animals tank is fully substrated. Has some pieces of wood in there now. I got to secure the light, and it's looking actually really good. It's obviously nowhere near complete, but I'm excited to show you guys how my own personal mix of substrate did. It's 1 part topsoil, organic topsoil, 1 part peat moss, 1 part wood chips, 1 part play sand. And then I threw in some spag moss and some leaf litter around in a couple of batches. I didn't have enough to do it in the whole tank yet. I will later on. But for now, the tank's pretty much done for now. It's ready for the inhabitant. It might be a little bit big for her when she first gets here. And if that's the case, I'll go ahead and put her down. I'll downsize her into a smaller tank until she's ready for it. But I'm excited to show you guys. Like, look at that. It's obviously dark, but put some fake plants in. Got the first pieces of wood. That's going to be her water bowl. But yeah, this. I am actually super pleased with how this soil turned out. It's actually going to be really great for her. I'm excited to show you guys tomorrow what she looks like and what she is.